now I'm ready to start the horizontals, and this is where the weaving starts. And you could do it by hand, but I have this little weaving tool. And I already got it weaved through there. It makes it kind of go a little quicker. There's no handles in the way. So I always go from south of that last horizontal. I'll actually probably do this one next because it gets kind of tight down here. And I like to do this one, and then I'll just kind of fill in. I'll just kind of show you here. These holes start getting tight, and if they get too tight, you just take a little pick, and I keep wetting this too. If it starts to dry out or you walk away, you could just take a little mister. I'm not gonna do it because the cat's right here and she gets a little upset. But then I'll just kind of give a little squirt. Just keep it nice and wet, go from underneath. Get that pick up. You can take this pick and just kind of loosen up the holes, and it just kind of compresses the caning so you have room to kind of go through. And then after we keep going, it's even gonna get tighter and tighter. And then I usually take just this long needle and I'll get it in the hole and get my caning through there to pull it through. You could do it by your hand and keep fighting it, but I just find it easier with the needle once it starts getting too tight in the holes. Pull that through. The same thing as you started doing these verticals here. Keep it to the right. Now I want to keep all these to the south, but still make that V right there. And I can go this way or this way, but I like coming down, whatever. It's just personal preference. Now I'm just gonna leave this here and take the weave tool. This has a little slot in there to accept the cane. And I'm just gonna start under here. You just wanna go over, under, and just keep going. Just have to work it with your fingers. It's already getting a little tight, and you've only got one strand in there. If this chair had arms, sometimes it's difficult to use this tool, and you're just gonna have to go over, under, just by working it instead of using the tool. You can actually flip this back and forth. That makes it easier. I got a little curve on the end there. You can kind of maneuver it around. Sometimes with the end, I'll just, instead of weaving through there with the tool, I'll just hand weave that part. Just know that since this one's over, and now I have to go under, it's a little tricky here. And I just have to bring it back to get over the other strand of the cane. I can get it in that little slot there. It's almost like a little shuttle for weaving. I always kind of guide it with my thumb just so it doesn't twist. Just kind of maneuver the pieces, and you could kind of move these around. And like give a little tension and just put it where I want it, because I want to kind of start making it straight. But you can adjust it as you go. And I just kind of push it up there, so I'm trying to get a straight line. It's gonna look messy for a while until I start doing the diagonals, kind of straighten everything out. Come up the next pole. And I'll just leave this here, and then I'll work the shuttle this way. Under, over. didn't keep these loose, this would be so tight you wouldn't be able to use this. You'd be breaking the cane. And this is a pretty thick cane. It's a 2.75. When you use the thinner cane, it kind of breaks. Sometimes I don't use this tool, so I wind up just breaking up all the strands. It's just too tight, and the thinner cane is a little bit weaker than this nice thick 2.75. Once you start kind of getting in here, it'll let you move it over and it tightens everything up. It would help if I had one more hand, because then I could adjust these and push at the same time. I think it would look kind of funny. And I'll just be doing this away. You just want a shiny side up. So here's, since this one was under, I'm going over, under, back this up a little bit, get it through the eye. And usually just kind of hold on to it, then right across. I could adjust this. I got some tension on my left hand. Just kind of bringing it up. Doesn't have to be perfect yet. Just kind of get it to where I want it to be for now. Kitty. Got one soaking here. I don't want to soak it too much because then it starts just really discoloring it. If you leave it over 5 minutes, you may not want to use it because it actually gets quite black, and then it doesn't come back to the lighter color. One more row, possibly another one. It's a little too short. I might get one out of it, and I just keep using my tool. I'm gonna do that till I get down here, and then work this up, and then we'll be ready for our diagonals. And we'll go from there. Alrighty, I'm all finished with the first part of the weaving, those horizontal. So I'm gonna get ready for the diagonal. But I just wanted to show you where these strands look kind of loopy. You really don't have to worry about it, because once you do the diagonals, that loop will come out. So you don't have to stress about if you get something like that. It's just a little looser than this strand next to it. But it will work itself out when you do the diagonals. Okay, I'm just getting started on the diagonals. And with this, if you went over this one and then under, it gets caught up. You need this to slide smoothly. So if I would have went over, under, over, you'll see that it starts getting crooked. So if you ever start your diagonals and it just doesn't seem right, then you want to, instead of going over, go under, over, under. Once it happens to you, you'll know. But no one ever explained that to me, except for which direction I should go on my 4th course, which I'm on, because the first the first vertical, first horizontal, second vertical, 4th horizontal was the weaving, and now diagonal. Yeah, so you'll know that it goes all over the place if you're going the wrong way. So see how that goes back and forth like that? So then you know you're good. Now we just make sure I just go past the hole, so I'm gonna be right around there. And now it's getting tighter, and it will get tighter as I do the diagonals. I like the diagonals, it goes quick and it starts to look like something. There's different methods. You could do this, or you could get it going where you just kind of weave, but then it kind of gets tangled up. So I just kind of go like this. And then here, you want to start making what's called X's along the side. So you think you can go to that hole, which you probably could, but I like to have all my X's, so I'm going to go to that hole. Actually, I'm going to go to that other hole. Whatever looks right. So it looks a little better. It seems like I'm a little crooked. Sometimes I'll just take a piece of tape, get along there, see how crooked that is. Just take my needle and straighten out this line and just kind of push on the corners and work that over. So far out. Let's see, we've got that all straightened out. And then here we're going to get the start of the X's down here. So once I come the other way, it's going to make all X's on the bottom. If I have to fight too much to get in a hole, I'll bring that needle out and put the needle in there and thread it up there. Sometimes before you get to the end, you're going to want to pull all this excess. Sometimes it gets too tight. This ain't too bad, especially with the bigger material. But if I was working with anything skinnier, you'd have to pull that through more, or if you try to do it, it just breaks the caning. I'll pull this all through, and then I'm going to have where these two meet up. It's only because this was getting tight here. I'll have something like that. I'm not going to go to there because I'm going to start my X now. This is going to start making an X on this side. You'll see once we get there, when we have the diagonals going the other way. I think the cat's mad at me. I took a little break. I had to stay in a couple chairs, and the cat was laying under the chair here, and I had to use the spray bottle. The cat didn't like that. She gave me a dirty look. Hey, Velcro. She'll come back though. She don't stay mad long. See, then I could just keep doing this here. Just have that excess. And moves along a little quicker. Getting tight. You can see I don't really need these tees anymore because the other caning is help binding everything together. When I first started out, I have a peg in every hole, and you really don't need that. It's just mostly where my end